So, ignoring the constant bombardment of middle distance world records we've been seeing lately, in the background, the other events have been revealing what the rest of 2026 has in store for us. We've seen the return of one of the most exciting prodigies in track, the return of the certified fastest woman alive, the return of debatably the greatest jumps athlete in history, and some spicy controversy. So, let's talk about it.
Look at Masalela, that is cheeky. From a growing force in the 1500 meters to do that right on the line, right.
Gout is finally back. After an extensive season last year, running non-stop from November to October, he's chosen to keep his opener low-key this year, debuting his season at an open meeting in his hometown of Brisbane. And from a couple interviews I've seen from him lately, it seems like he wants a little less spotlight on him. But when you open in 10 seconds flat, legal wind, and from lane 1, it's hard not to catch everyone's attention.
Here they come with 50 to go. It's getting closer and closer. Gout's going to take it from Payer's whistle.
Legally before this, Gout Gout's PR was 10.17 seconds from December 2024. And since then, he has run some disturbingly quick times. It's just every time he's brought the wind with him, running two 9.9s back to back with hurricanes behind him, then 19.9 and 19.8, this time tornadoes. So this 10 flat is now his best legal 100 meter time by far. And it also makes him the 11th fastest under 20 athlete in the 100 meters ever, which truthfully, due to just how many of these times were run in the past 3 years, all of them but 2, 10 seconds flat might sound a little unimpressive, which is crazy, but that's only without context, because obviously this is a season opener in February, which is even early for the Australian athletics calendar. But looking at the 10 athletes higher than Gout on the all-time under 20 list, I want to ask you this question. How many do you think opened their record running season with a time faster than 10 flat? None of them. Technically, this is the best 100 meter season opener by an under 20 athlete we've ever seen. And that's not accounting for the fact he's also the second youngest on this list, only having turned 18 2 months ago. Obviously, predictions are nothing but fun, but also looking at the progression of his season openers, we're looking at something juicy. Maybe we're looking at the start of an under 20 world record? Which is even silly to think about because we know the 200 meter is his better event. But I'll stop it there, that's enough hype. I'm honestly just looking forward to what he chooses to run at this year. He's already made it vocal he's going to the World Under 20 Champs instead of the Commonwealth Games, which, honestly, good move. They're scheduled at basically the same time, so it's near impossible to run at both, and you can always run at a future Com Games, as long as you stay in the sport, but very quickly, you do run out of time to run at the Under 20 World Champs. I saw online some people called it cowardly, but this kid has got some unreasonably high expectations on his shoulders, and from some recent interviews, it does seem like he's struggling with it a little. So I'm glad his camp is supporting him to take his time. And there's still also the Ultimate World Champs at the end of the year, which he'll probably be running at anyway, so it's not like we're missing out on anything. Okay, let's get this one out of the way early. Earlier today at the All-In Copernicus Cup, hope I didn't butcher that, we'd see a relatively strong 1500 meter race toe the line as the first race of the day. And Botswana's Masalela, who I know as an 800 meter runner after last season, took out Azadine Habs, the 6th fastest athlete of all time, in a come-from-behind win. Masalela rode the pack for the majority of the race, sitting in 6th, looking out of contention for most of it, before moving up as the race headed into the closing laps, finding himself in 3rd at the bell, clawing his way, fighting hard for the win.
Going into this final bend, that's Masalela. Now he's a big kicker. Masalela on the shoulder of Habs. And Habs is going to get beaten here. Masalela, oh my word, was celebrating before the line.
Throwing in a celebration across the line, and a small bit of showmanship while he was at it. Really tame stuff, didn't impede his competitor, won the race fair and square. The time was actually really fast too. A 3:32.55, that's a national record, and a time just inside the top 15 all time for the indoor 1500. And he'd get DQ'd. Why? Unsportsmanlike conduct with his celebration.
Oh, brother!
There isn't really much to delve into here, and simply based off these two images where Masalela is DQ'd and Noah Lyles is celebrated, it's a dumb ruling. The unsportsmanlike conduct rule is already vague in itself where it changes on a case-to-case basis. Like, I understand a little if it's because his gesture looked like a gun, sort of, but who cares anyway? Kids have been playing Fortnite since birth. And then there's the fact he's done this same gesture before and it was okay, just not pointed at competitors. Instead, at the crowd, which arguably, if we're talking the implication of pointing a gun at a singular competitor or a large crowd, one has significantly worse connotations. It can annoy me at times when an athlete showboats and sabotages their own times, but it should never warrant a DQ, unless it's a straight up offensive hand gesture. But my main gripe is, in a sport that already lacks the ability to show off athlete personalities, since races only last from 10 seconds to 13 minutes maximum, we can't be stripping them of opportunities to create some drama or represent themselves in one of the only unique ways they can. And I really mean that, since half the athletes are wearing the same dang uniforms as well. I don't know, I just saw this and I thought it was really, really stupid. And truthfully, from a viewership perspective, our sport does a lot wrong. Anyway, back to business. This one feels like it's been a millennia. But Elaine Thompson-Herah, the current fastest woman alive, has been making the rounds the last 2 weekends. At 33 years young, she is a 2-time Olympic champion in both the 100 and 200 meters. She has the second fastest 100 meter of all time, 10:54, and is the third fastest 200 meter athlete ever as well. And here she is, 2 weekends ago, hitting the track for the first time in 2 years. Now, I didn't say it was pretty. Since this is some bum meat in Jamaica, the footage is cake, so I can't really make any real analysis anyway, and the time was alright, 7.24 seconds for third. But as I said, she ran again this weekend, and a little bit faster. This time, 7.20 seconds for the win, and filmed from a better angle. And both of these times were run into some pretty ugly headwinds, so she's in better shape than the times even tell us. But more so than the times and how comfortable she looks running them, it was genuinely emotional seeing her back and grateful to be back.
I am happy, I'm peaceful, I missed it. So I'm just happy to be back here on track, doing what I love. It's been hard to stay away from it, but so I'm just grateful to come out here, my team, my manager, my coach, everybody.
I'm not sure where our hopes should be set. Maybe it's best if we just leave them at the door. But it's hard not to get excited when the current era of sprinters are known to compete at an elite level into their 30s. And on top of that, then there's the anecdotal evidence, for some reason, Jamaican women have incredible sprinting longevity. So, I don't know. It's definitely way too early to tell, but I'm on my toes nonetheless. And in general too, the women's 60 meter is just looking really good this year. Julien Alfred has been on a tear, which I missed talking about last week, running 4 7-second flat times in the 60 meter and looking really strong while doing it. But Italy's Dosso this weekend actually matched Julien Alfred's 6.99 second world lead.
Well, here we go, it looks a much better start this time. And Van der Veken moving well, Amy Hunt trying to come through, but it's going to be Dosso just at the end there.
There's always an asterisk needed when we talk about Dosso. She is known as a 60 meter specialist and monster, to be fair. She won silver in the 2025 World Indoors and bronze in 2024, but is still yet to run under 11 seconds outdoors. Undoubtedly, Alfred vs Dosso is going to be good again this year, indoors. But for the first time ever, Dosso didn't look like she was getting clawed back on in the final stages of this race, even with Amy Hunt behind her, who is notoriously a strong finisher. I'm not hyped up enough to say she's going to be another Julien Alfred, but in my opinion, very impressive run. Yulimar Rojas. Now, to make an incredible career brief, these are her medals. She has a world record near a foot further than any other athlete, and during a 5-year period between 2019 and 2023, her peak right before she tore her Achilles, she competed in 41 triple jump finals competitions and won 37 of them. This woman is a Terminator. I could go on all day. She actually made her return last year after 2 years of rehabilitation from an Achilles tear at the World Championships, and first competition back, she managed to come third with a 14.76. But opening her 2026 season, she jumped a 14.95. That's already further than last year's world lead. Since she's been out so long, I haven't really been able to say it, but I am a huge Rojas fan, and seeing her back, 14.95 this quickly, there's only one thing I can say.
Good luck, everybody else!
And also following up with a little more jump action, which is a rarity, last week also saw Saraboyakov jump 8.45 meters, a new world lead in the men's long jump.
Oh yes, he likes that a lot. He likes that a lot.
That may or may not sound super impressive, the long jump is in a weird limbo lately, but in the modern era, that makes him the 4th farthest jumper in the last 6 years, only bettered by Tintoglo, whose reign has been relatively supreme, Wayne Pinnock, and Juan Miguel Echevarria, who at 27 is making a comeback himself after a 4-year-long injury period. The long jump might get exciting this year, and that in itself is pretty exciting. That's how down bad we are. Also, Cordell Tinch, the 110 world champion, is diversifying his stocks and trying out the long jump himself. He's known for being a freaky athlete, here are his PRs, and after ignoring the event for 3 years, he jumps 8.29, and he just looks freaky when he does it. Funny too, in this same competition, he took down the world champion silver medalist TJ Gale. Apparently Tinch is choosing to stick with it this season, so it really looks like we're finally getting some spice to what's been a very bland dish these past 5 years. And finally, to finish up the weekly cap, Sam Ruth ran his final international race in Boston, a 3K time against a top NCAA and pro field, running 7:43, an age grade world record by 9 seconds, not that he really cares about that anyway.
You know, I don't really look at any age group times. I just see like the top guys, I really just feel the top of the top. So when I run 7:43, it doesn't really sound that good for me. To me, just based on what the pros can do. But you know, I can't be unhappy with that.
What a monster.